What's up, gang? I'm getting started here. This is Lieutenant Sal Blue. I just finished doing a little bit of reading, writing some notes. Got a couple of books and stuff here on the table. And did a little running around today. Had a interview for a job. Yes, a job. Told y'all guys I got to fund this venture, and I am going to go all in, right? Literally. My pension pays my bills, but this job that I have here, I am going to use it completely to fund my business, to fund my marketing, advertising, hiring, virtual assistants, everything. I'm going all in. So I'm going to put in this work right now, right? Because I think that it's necessary to make. See, you guys are thinking 2022. I'm thinking 2023, right? So I'm thinking an explosion of power and wealth in 2023, and I think that I got the groundwork. I got the groundwork to lay this all out and make it a fantastic year, and just thinking positive about it. You know, it's the work that I'm going to put in that I'm excited about. I'm excited about the work that I'm going to put in because I believe that it is necessary. So listen, I'm going to quick queue up Spotify, get these guys going, and I'm going to talk to you guys here on YouTube as well. So let's go ahead and cue it as we always do. And let me give you my introduction. What's up, gang? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the top 25 mistakes en route to the good life. Coming at you. That's right, top 25 mistakes. Goodness right here. My goodness, man. Coming at you today with my daily podcast. And I'm excited. As life would have taken it, it has these ebbs and flows. And you have to take in all of the bad to appreciate all of the good, right? You just absorb it and you feel it and you take it in and you're like, oh man, this is seriously painful, right? And then all of a sudden somebody comes along and they give you perspective, right? They actually tell you really how bad things can be, and then all of a sudden you feel really foolish on how you were acting out about, whoa, so me, what little grief you're going through, you know, whoa, so me, you got a couple of bills that caught you off guard, whoa, so me, you got a couple of health issues that are little ailments that may last you the rest of your life. Woe is me, man. And I tell you guys, you can't live life like that. You always got to take it into perspective, and you got to stop comparing yourself to Instagram. You got to stop comparing yourself to Facebook, TikTok, and all of these lives out there. You got to stop comparing yourself to them and start doing what I do, right? I write down my day in the beginning. Start off all the things that are on my mind, everything that's going on. I write down all of that stuff in the daytime, right? Got it all written down, written out for me to see, right? So got all of those thoughts out of my mind. And then at the end of the day, I go back, I read it, and I write a little synopsis of how my day was, how did I finish all, what did I accomplish, what did I achieve, did I go for what I wanted to go for today, so on and so forth. And I kind of write it out. So instead of me comparing my life to those on Instagram and Facebook 1-minute blurps, I compare my life to the last 24 hours. How did I do in the last 24 hours that I can make improves on for the next 24 hours? And that's how you go about implementing change, guys. See, if you continue to compare yourself to other people, you're going to be overwhelmed, and it's exhausting. It is exhausting. So I've been on a little tea thing here, drinking my little tea at night as it's cold. It's getting a little chilly. The wind, it's really cold out here in PA, so a little chilly for me, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it because I have a master plan. I have a master plan. So listen, let's get into today's podcast, man. Today's podcast is brought to you by none other than Lieutenant Sal Blue. Me, that's right, guys. And the question for today is, are you hungry? That's right. And I'm not doing a Snickers commercial, right? I'm not doing a Snickers commercial. Are you hungry is the question of the day. And, you know, it is important for me to put that out there because, like I told you guys, I went for a job interview today. And it's not something that I want to do. Right? It's not something that I want to do. I don't want to work another job, man. I'm feeling like, hey, I could just trickle the funds into my business and get the results I want eventually. But the truth is that I need a large influx of cash to push my marketing to the next level, to really, really get myself out there and make the surge, especially before my next book comes out. So, I need to have a large source of income to come in. And knowing that, right, is why I'm taking on additional ventures, extra things, man, extra work, a lot of time. And it's not going to be easy. And I don't care that it's not going to be easy because I know the benefit, right? Because I am hungry. I am hungry to succeed. So when you're in the process of rebuilding, as I am, right, from scratch, this is the question you have to ask yourself. Are you hungry? Because I'll tell you guys, if you are not hungry, this is not going to last long for you. This is not going to be good for you. This is not going to work out for you, right? If you're not hungry, so many things are going to come your way to throw you off your game, man. And the reason for this powerful as well as deep question, right? Because this is something that you have to answer for yourself. Nobody can answer it for you, right? Has a lot to do with what you'll be faced with, right? What you'll be faced with. No one knows some of the things that you'll be faced with because, to be honest, everybody doesn't know your weaknesses. And to tell the truth, everybody doesn't need to know your weaknesses, right? But you need to know your weaknesses. And so you have to really answer this question of, are you hungry? Because you're going to have to go through some stuff. You're going to have to go through some stuff to get to where you want to be, man. Now, when you're faced with stuff, faced with painful, hard stuff, man, especially rebuilding, restructuring, whatever you're doing, that's all painful stuff, right? And so I tell people, whenever you're in a crisis, right, when a crisis comes your way, it tests your ability. It tests your ability for endurance. Can you endure the crisis? And we talked about that a little bit yesterday about, can you endure the crisis, right? Can you just keep taking the punches, man, and keep getting up over and over and over again? Can you do it? Right? Can you do it? And that is probably a testament to who you will become if you endure that, right? It is a story you can tell to help the next person to grow that you are trying to teach. So understand that, right? Testing your endurance is what's going to make or break you, right? And as I spoke about yesterday, guys, without your ability to endure all of the chaos and the turmoil that comes with change, right? Because when you change, man, boy, oh boy, does your body fight, right? Your body fights that change. But when you change, man, you don't have the chance for rebuilding or starting over after a huge failure if you cannot endure. If you can't last out the pain, if you can't last out the chaos, if you can't outlast all of this that's going to be hammering you over and over again, you're not going to make it out on the other side. Because I promise you, there is an other side. There is a good side to every struggle. And far too many people fall victim to the struggle and they get lost in the dark forever, man. See, because having endurance in the storm is never easy. It is never easy. It's just not, man. You know, I wish it was. at times. But then again, after going through so many struggles, I am glad that it's not, man. I'm glad it's not, because here's the deal, man. If the storm was easy for everybody, what would we contrast it with, right? What would we contrast it with when it comes to having a good life, right? And that is why so many people get lost along the way. And then what happens, man? They settle for something a whole lot easier, right? You see so many people out there, and they live with the word, as I've lived with for so many times in my past, the lowest hanging fruit. What is the lowest hanging fruit for me? What is the easiest thing for me to do? Right? The easiest thing for me to do is not to struggle and not to raise my life to heights that I truly would be proud of myself for. No, no, no. Right? I want to be in a group that is elite. I want to be in a group that is different. I want to be in a group that I look at myself and I say, I am proud of what you achieved because you didn't settle for the lowest hanging fruit. That is where I want to be. And I'm hoping, guys, as you listen to me talk, that you want to be the same, that you are willing to go through the pain, man. And if you're willing to go through the pain and not settle for something a lot easier, then keep listening, man, because I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you some of the tricks of the trade that have helped me to continue to take the beatings when I have to, man, and continue to put my head down and just continue to go, man. So I'm telling you guys, hang in there, right? Now, there are many ways, right, to try and get through the storm, right? There's many ways to try to get through the storm, but I found three things for me that I hope that will work for you as well. So when you're going through something and you can't truly figure out, get your finger on it, right? The storm is just serious. Go back on these three things that I'm talking about, guys. And I believe that they will help you out tremendously. So what are those three things that I am talking about? You know, and so I like to start off with this, right? When I used to be in the midst of a storm, I would try to muscle my way through. I call myself an alpha, right? And a lot of things, I don't really look for help from people, a lot of people. And I had to learn how to change that, number one. But number two, whatever it was, I thought that I could out-muscle it, man. You know, I have a golf game that is an okay golf game. I'm not a great golfer, but about a 12 handicap probably in my golf game, right? I'm shooting in the 80s. And so when I'm out there playing golf and I'm hitting the ball, when I'm doing good, right, that sweet spot when you swing and you literally do not feel the ball vibrate through the club, that sweet spot. When I'm hitting the ball and hitting it far, right, you're talking 280, you know, and above. When I'm hitting the ball like that, when I'm driving, or when my irons are freaking sweet and my woods are fantastic. When I'm hitting the ball and it's going straight, right, and I'm not fighting against it, man, that's that sweet spot that tells me that I am not trying to muscle the ball. I'm letting the club do the work, as my instructor told me over and over again. Allow the club to do what it's built for, right? If you choose the right club, everything else goes without saying perfectly. So choose the right club, guys. And so when I'm going to make changes in my life, right? I used to be totally opposite of that. I would not choose the right club. I would not seek help, right? So I would fight against every curve, every bump, right? And every unexpected reversing direction. I would be fighting against it. And that would cause me to be exhausted, man. It would just wear me out, guys. It would wear me out, and I couldn't figure out whether I was coming or going when it was happening, man. I was just I would just be worn out, right? So what would I do after I was worn out, guys? I would admit defeat, right? And I would walk around, now feeling like I was victimized by my circumstances, right? These circumstances were unfortunate, and why did they turn out this way? And woe is me. And that would be me in this circumstance where I used to try to muscle it, guys. But what I found out, right, and the three things that I'm talking to you about, and I'm probably going to give you a bonus too, is the three things I'm talking about. What I found out, it was more beneficial for me to stop struggling, believe it or not, right? And make the situation meet, right? Because I was struggling to try to make this situation meet my expectations, what I felt how it should turn out, right? And instead of doing that, I began to accept the situation the way it is. This is the situation, okay? Because once something happens, you have a tragedy that happens or something bad that happens in your life, or you're trying to rebuild or restructure, and you see that everything you were trying or you were struggling and fighting with didn't work, and you accept it as, okay, this didn't work, right? This thing that I was trying right here didn't work this way, and you accept it, right? Once you do that, guys, what you do is you open your mind up to new solutions, to new possibilities, to new opportunities, as well as help, guys. Right? When you ever notice the swimmers, the lifeguard, right? The lifeguard tries to save the swimmers when they're drowning, and when the person is drowning, they're literally trying to fight the lifeguard, and the lifeguard literally, and I used to be a lifeguard when I was younger, you literally have to spin them around and take them almost in a chokehold, right, to stop them from drowning you as the lifeguard. You're trying to save them, and they're trying to drown you because they're constantly panicking. They're in straight panic mode. They're so afraid, right, that they're not thinking clearly. And in thinking clearly, not only will they drown you trying to save themselves, but once you drown, they'll also drown and you'll both die. So you have to literally take control of people when they are drowning, unless they learn to relax and realize that you are there to save them, and they loosen up and allow you to take them along, man. So just that is just how we are as people, man. A lot of times we panic and we don't accept things as they are, right? So you have to begin to accept things as they are in order to see new solutions and new possibilities, right? This brings us to the second step that I would like to talk about, which is to allow the help to present itself, right? When you stop panicking, same as a lifeguard trying to save you in a drowning situation, right? He is there to help you. So if someone is there to help you, right, it has presented itself to you as opportunity. And many times it may not be a person, but a thing, right? Or an instance or a circumstance. And it may be presenting itself to you as an opportunity for you to go in a different direction. You may have had roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, and all of a sudden, slightly to the right, is another opportunity that opens up for you to continually move forward, right? Continually move forward, because that's what it's all about. And so once you stop struggling and fighting, you can see these opportunities, and I am telling you guys to allow the opportunity to present itself. Allow it to help you, right? And I told you guys once before, this usually comes in the form of new opportunities, but most of the time, if you are constantly trying to fix the same thing, right? Trying to say, well, you know the typical thing, go over it, under it, around it, keep going through the same obstacle. That doesn't always work, man. It doesn't always work, and it doesn't always work out. So I just want you guys to know that as well. But when you stop trying to do the same thing over and over again, and you say to yourself that this is what it is, I'm going to stop attempting to try to do this the same way, and let's see what this new solution comes about and then try that, I tell you guys, it has made dramatic changes in my life when I've done that. So allow the new solution to come through and stop attempting, things that you have done in the past over and over again. So that is the second step. And the third step, guys, and I think this is one of the most important ones, is to work through your pain, right? And whether it's grief, whether it's tragedy, whatever it is, work through your pain. And never treat it as a dream. And the reason why I say this, right, is because when you attempt to suppress things that happen in your life, like I've had some serious tragedies in my life, people I've lost in tragic fashion in my life, people that were closest to me that I've lost, and I've tried to suppress it. And so when I was younger, I would try to suppress it and just say that it was all a dream, that it wasn't real. And what happened was it began to manifest itself in other ways in my life, right? Because it was real. It did happen. It was a true tragedy that occurred in my life. And so because it was a true tragedy that occurred in my life, guess what? Okay, it is going to find its way back to the surface and manifest itself as something else, guys. That is what tragedies do if you try to suppress it. But if you accept it, right? If you accept it and you work through the pain, and it's going to be painful, and it's going to be hard. And that is why I talked about endurance, okay? And enduring tragedies, enduring grief, and enduring pain. And that's why I talked about it, because you need to work building your endurance, guys. It is so important for you to do that, okay? And in that way, you face your tragedies as opposed to running from your tragedies. And when you do that, when you face your tragedies, you can now see the new opportunities, because you have went through that process of grieving, that process of hurting, that process of just working through all your emotions. I'll tell you what, guys, I had some seriously bad things that happened to me in my life, right? And I'm not going to get into all things, but because bad things happen to everybody, right? That is just part of life. I had some serious bad things happen to me. And some of them bad things have taken me 6 months to a year to process. And some of you may say, well, wow, that was way too long. What a wasted year. I'd rather just throw it in the back of my head, just keep pushing forward, right? And that is great. That is great. But I'm going to tell you what. If you had something traumatic that has ever happened to you in your life, right, and you don't work through it properly, it can be a nightmare. It can be a nightmare for your next relationship. It could be a nightmare for your next job. It could be a nightmare for your next business. Whatever it is, guys, it can be bad for you, okay, because you have not taken the time to properly work through your emotions and let it fully come out of your system with a lesson to be learned, something to be grown from, something to be appreciated. So understand that as my third tip for you guys. But I got a bonus. Guys. I got a bonus that I want to tell you guys before we wrap it up today on today's podcast. And that bonus is, right, and you will be surprised, right? Never display your vulnerability to outsiders. Don't do it. Just don't do it, man. All right? It's none of their damn business. Okay? And the reason I'm saying this is because, and you'll understand it a little bit deeper, man, is because first and foremost, they're outsiders. So they don't feel like they can help you with your problem. So now they have a feeling of helplessness, right? And helping you to solve a situation that you are dealing with, because they're outsiders, and so they don't feel like they should be giving you input on your life, right? They don't feel like it. So what happens to outsiders and possibly future business partners, and possibly future friends or associates, maybe even a mate that could have been part of your life? No, you shared this with them, and now, okay, what they see in your eyes is their weakness as well, and their inability to help themselves. So what do? They distance themselves from you. They begin to avoid. See, they may initially give you the sympathy that you feel that you need, right? In the beginning, that little appeasing, oh, well, I'm so sorry that it happened to you. But the truth is that they're also processing, okay, that entire situation. And now, after it's all said and done, they want to get as far away from you as possible, because every time they see you, all they think is tragedy. Every time they see you, all they think is pain. And if this person sees you and all they think is tragedy and all they think is pain, it all reminds them of the tragedy and pain that they have gone through in their lives, and they don't want to be a part of it, right? So people always avoid people who share their vulnerabilities with them. Okay, so understand that, man. What I tell you guys to do instead is to learn to be a good poker player. Learn how to look at the worst deck of cards as if you got a royal flush, right? And guess what? And I always tell people who ask about my misfortunes, even if my misfortunes happen to be displayed publicly, maybe I was fired from a job or humiliated on in the paper or on social media or whatever, whether I was humiliated, whatever, and it was done publicly, and people ask me about it, right? People love asking you about your humilities as well, because they know, right, that misery loves company, so they want to bring it out of you, right? What is your problem? How did you feel when you got dissed or disrespected, or haters beat you up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever? How do you feel, right? How do you feel not making the New York Times bestseller list again? How do you feel about that, right? And I tell people all the time, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I say that with confidence because, believe it or not, man, believe it or not, even if I'm going through the pain, I still tell them that because I just don't know that it is the best thing that ever happened to me. Because remember what I said yesterday, guys? In every tragedy lies a seed of equal or greater equivalent. So whatever problems or issues that you had in your life, there's a seed there, right? You just have to find it. And when you start speaking like that it was the best thing that ever happened to me, guess what happens, man? You all of a sudden, right, find the greatness in the tragedy that happened to you. So listen, I'm going to wrap it up for today, guys. But I want you guys to stay strong, keep pushing, stay hungry, all right? And make sure you guys hop on over to Lieutenant Sound Blue, pick up your copy of my book, Top 25 Mistakes En Route to the Good Life, as well as my audiobook on an audio form bump, okay? And check me out on all the social media platforms at Lieutenant Sound Blue. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow with my next daily podcast, all right? I'll talk to you later. Deuces, have a great night.